Well, now we go to Poland. Licia and Ula, yeah? Ursula, sorry. Alicia, yeah? You have, 15 minutes, I remind you. And yes, we want to hear your, impressions. You were also, Ursula was in another job challenge too, yeah? So tell us about your experience. Thank you.
Hello everybody, and in fact we have two different presentations because our schools are different. Although we live in one place in Bielsko-Biała, we live in different schools. My school is in a village. It is a village near Bielsko, and very small. There are about 200 people, students altogether, and it is a unit of primary and lower secondary school. But we are not isolated. We started to do different projects before entering European Union. What happened? Okay, nothing. So to jest zespół szkolno-przedszkolny w Bestwinie. This is my school. So the project we participate now is our fourth. So we did a lot of, we have done a lot of different activities. So it was drama workshop with John Suda from Malta. It is a director, a theatre director, and principal of Drama Center in Malta, and he came to Bestwina 3 times. The first time after doing the first project with Malta, Spain, Italy, Slovenia. Older Brothers in Faith is Jewish culture project which is conducted by our teacher of Polish, and we cooperated with Yad Vashem Institute and also Auschwitz Museum. Discussion on different aspects of otherness during classes, for example, reading different stories, and especially The Weavers is a story by the student gained the awareness of the consequences of intolerance, prejudice, hatred for other people because of their otherness in appearance and belief. So drama workshop with John Suda were conducted in English, but we also gained some knowledge about Maltese language, the Maltese language. This is the Saminka assembly about older brothers in faith, so about Jewish culture, about traditions, customs, dances, also different vocabulary or things they should know. This is the story, and these are drawings made by my students, because in older classes we discuss different aspects of intolerance, prejudice, and in younger classes they just drew pictures. The story was in Polish, so they translated it into English. To compare cultures, we organized a food festival day students chose different recipes and cooked the dishes at school. And after that, the other day, all the dishes were served to teachers, to other students, and invited guests. I know that we don't have enough time, but just a sample, if it's possible. If it opens. It's a short film, but we probably skip it. Okay. We also staged some international plays, so of course at school, Romeo and Juliet, Isabel and Denise, Portuguese Legend, because our previous project was a bilateral project with Portugal, and lasted 2 years. And the young lady of Zanika Lukasi with Maltese Legend from our project with Malta. It was a musical that we created. The play was in English, but lyrics were in Polish. I will try.
Man who didn't want to dance in his marriage, I never had wedding. Now it's too late. Let's go. Skąd przeczucie mam, skąd mam tę myśl, że jesteś samym i że będę z nim. Skąd że ja, jak chcę niego.
Sorry for that. It's not my fault. And these are pictures taken from Isabel and Denise, Portuguese legend. We hosted students and teachers from different countries. During these 3 years of lasting this project, we hosted Italian, Finnish, English and Turkish students and teachers, but in previous years also Portuguese and students from Slovenia, from Italy as well. So these are pictures taken from communist visit to the scene. With our students, so of course the awareness of diversity was very important, and we tried to introduce it into classes, and some works on idioms or saying on different lifestyles, about lifestyles and about health in various languages. So we did it in different countries and then exchanged the saying and compare them what are discuss the similarities and differences. European Languages and Culture Day and cooperation with other European schools. So these are the result of our working on idioms and sayings. The idea was it should have been in mother tongue and English, but we did it in Polish and in English, and Turkish people in Turkish and in English, but Finland did only in English. So these are the pictures from European Languages Day that were in fact in different classes, and students had the opportunity to go to learn as much as possible, and this is from culture. Also, they took part in different mobilities. They were in Turkey, in Finland, and Sicily, and also in Portugal, Slovenia. And our concern, and we discussed in class, was the Vilamovian language that is spoken by nowadays about 70 people only speak Vilamovian language, and it is West Germanic micro-language used about 20 kilometers from Westphal. So it was a real discovery for our students, because they didn't know about the fact that this language exists. But some people tried to save them from oblivion, maybe not give them life, but these are some examples. Comparing languages, so now we've got rudimentary saying in different languages. With other teachers I was in Istanbul, and now I've been here in Spain, so we could, before job shadowing visits, we can cooperate via different platforms, also via using Facebook, cooperate during the stay in Istanbul, in Spain, and also based on observation classes and joint activities. So joint activities in Turkey, how much do you know about other cultures, and here in Spain, help me please. So some pictures from English lesson, those Aisha Bulbarut, her classes. I observed drama classes in Spain. Really wonderful, great experience, and I took a lot. Belarusian teacher English classes. This is what was my lesson, and first I pre-taught the body language. I showed a short film about ways of greetings and group work. In each group was to create imaginary country, and they had to create their own system of greetings, saying goodbye, thank you, and they exchanged their results, guessing a message by the gesture, and they greet each other. Here they are creating new signs of a new society. And then the idea was that they were supposed to visit each other try to understand each other using quite different gesture, different saying. This is our joint activity. Here my students wrote a letter about customs in Poland, and the idea was that students were to draw a poster or on Turkish customs. And Spain, observation classes. So there are 2 classes. Presentation on the city. And help me please, our joint activities. Students were to help a Polish tourist. I was a Polish tourist to find some places and to do something in the city. Have something to eat, buy souvenirs, go sightseeing, visit sports center. And they were supposed to only use Spanish, not English, or other languages they know. About the language, drawings, and some Polish words, I pre-taught them the day before. So it was great fun. So they work in groups, 4 groups. And these are the results. They draw things, wrote in different languages, and we communicate by gestures as well. So that's all. Thank you. Now we are waiting. Sorry, not all. One sentence only, because we are now working on. We are preparing a new project with Portugal, Estonia, and Greece. So I hope it will be successful. Thank you very much, and sorry for.
Alicia, please, you have 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
I have 100 slides.
We still have 200 to go.
No, I'm not kidding. Okay, the Kopaliński schools. About the project. It's all about the project. The Kopaliński schools, let me just introduce the school quickly or briefly. There are 4 schools, altogether 100 perhaps students, private. I don't teach English in those schools, I teach English-speaking countries, so from my perspective, there are a few things that I want to point out, maybe not everything, but the plurilingual week that we have introduced, and I think this is quite important because it shows and teaches something new. So the week, the first day, we ask our students to prepare, to decorate their classrooms in different, with different posters, with different things related to the countries. And we have perfect example of stereotypes of our students. So this is the way we can address stereotypes. Because, for example, well, I perhaps shouldn't say it but it struck me, so I will. For example, those who picked Russian because we teach, we have Russian, we have English, of course, which is basic. We have Russian, we have Italian, we have Spanish, 6 groups, the most popular language ever, and German and French. And there are other languages that students take it extra but after classes. So, for example, Russian, they decided to bring vodka to class because this is what they associate the Russian culture with. And of course, I know what you think, but I think this is a great opportunity for us to address stereotypes, to show them how they work. And next time, this was the first time, the first year, next time I'm sure they will reflect on the items they bring to class. Then we teach soft skills because we Polish are taught not to be able to cooperate. soft skills. The other day, the next day is dedicated to create something in the languages, different languages at the same time, and they volunteer, but they are groups of 5 across the age, across the classes. So you can see they work on the spot, preparing different things. This year they were supposed to create a story. The third day is dedicated to plurilingual quiz, and for example, a few questions in Polish. Where does this come from? And they know that chocolate comes from Ghana, so of course the answer is Ghana. Or in which language does this artist sing? And this is Yasmin Levy, and they know Spanish, but it's not really Spanish, it's Ladino. So they are a bit confused, and this is the idea, to confuse them and also to trick them in a way, because they think that Spanish is taught in Spain, or Spanish people speak Spanish, but this is, as you said in the morning, not necessarily the case. What languages are these? This year we added spelling bee, but also and an interesting thing that, of course, our students have the opportunity to see that also native speakers, because we have bilingual children, have difficulty with spelling certain words. But we added also knowledge of words. Guralish, the language doesn't exist, but it's Highlanders language. But we incorporate some words which we know that they are from Highlander. We use Highlanders speech, but use them, but it's not very official, it's not very proper language, let's say. And Silesian has come to be recognized as the equal language with, let's say, standard Polish. So we incorporated that due to the project. The fourth day is dedicated to recitation. We also invite other native speakers who don't work for our school. Arabic sometimes, or teachers, or native if you have native speakers, Korean, Japanese, Hebrew, and Wilamowski, my colleague has mentioned, because the story is quite interesting. We had a student who learned Wilamowski when at the age of, let's say, 7, and he now is 18, but when he was 16, he collaborated on this language with a person from Cambridge, and he went to Cambridge as a native speaker, and he learned the language from those two elders. Just very interesting story of how language can be preserved. And the last day is dedicated to mysterious biographies. So we have an interpreter on the right. She speaks Polish, and those two other students, they speak Spanish. This is Shakira, if you don't recognize. Yeah. And then we have the French, the little prince, and the Arabic princess. All being translated into Polish. So we have those languages in the air, let's say. We also have food, which is, I think, easy to predict. I showed this one, but this is under the as a teachers. What struck me, I had a project with Turkish people, not from the project. We also worked on food, because my students, when I asked them about food, Turkish food, said, we know only kebab. So now they learned something else, of course. And yeah, well, okay. What I must say about this one? No. Okay. Joint activities are important. When the people came to Bielsko, I worked with the 3 of the teachers, and these are the activities that we have used, very important ones. So I'll tell you about Lithuania and I'll tell you about Spain because I think this is quite interesting. Lithuania. We had a lesson with Povilas and we were working on the map. It's cut. Okay. So at least I'll show you Spanish identity. May I? Okay.
Okay.
Joint activity. Yes, I have to show you Spanish identity. I had
Sorry, but they're close in the room, so Turkey and Spain and
won't have time, won't have opportunity.
yes.
Okay.
So it's
So
respect